CRC IIT Ropar. Welcome Diksha ma'am in this program. Now my friend Tanu will say something.
Yes, you're audible.
Yes. So shall I start? Tanu, I'm not able to hear you.
The topic of today's talk is awareness, and I hope of us are also new to this topic. So let me introduce a bit of this topic. Okay. A data analyst is a person basically who gathers. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hello? Okay.
You are audible.
A data analyst. A data analyst is basically a person who gathers the information, organizes it in such a way to derive useful insights from that data. That data can be various ways, such as increasing the productivity of industry or to increase the profits. You might have known about the stock market. So where stocks are going to upwards or downwards, in such ways, a data analyst can be used. Moreover, it can be used in various industries. Almost in every industry can get benefits from the data analyst. So, with this brief introduction, I would Ms. Diksha ma'am. And first of all, please give an introduction about her. She has done BSc Honors in Mathematics and Computing from Punjab University and scored the distinction in the records. Then she completed her Master's in Mathematics from IIT Roper, and after that, she started her career as data analyst at CL. Now she is working as a analyst at American Express. It's a great pleasure. Having with you. Now, I just over to you.
Thank you, Tanu. Thank you very much for this introduction. Hi, everyone. Hope all of you are good at your respective homes because of COVID. But yeah, this is the situation. So thank you so much, Tanu, for this introduction. Usually what happens, a talk begins with a motto and ends it with a thank you. But first of all, I want to thank you, CDCRC, Placement Cell, Alumni Department. Thank you so much for inviting me. It really feels an honor to be back to your college and share your experience. Believe me, I mean, was so happy coming back to your college, back to my college and sharing my experiences. With the pleasure, it also comes a great sense of responsibility because, yeah, Tanu has given me a big responsibility to be a relevant data analyst. I'll try my best to share my experience, but yeah, if any of my experience, because I also used to attend many talks during my college time, some placement cells, some TDCRT talks, so it had helped me to grow, become a better version of myself. And I expect the same from you also. I hope any of my talk or any of my experience can make a better change in your life. So, I should start with this. Tanu, can I share my screen?
Sure, ma'am.
Pralay, can I do it? Thank you. Is it visible? Please confirm it, guys. Pralay, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am,
It is
it
visible.
is.
Yeah, that's great. And sorry, I forgot to tell something. Please, for this talk, the talk starts at 5 to 6. Please, for this 1 hour, consider me as your friend, not a random alumni who has come to share her experience. Because, I mean, you guys can understand, na, it happens when a friend told us his or her experience, we can more relate to that. So for now, I'm your friend. I can be your friend lifetime, I don't mind. And one more thing, I will talk till, I mean, we'll continue till 5:50 or 5:45. And please make sure ki stop me at 5:45 because sometimes I tend to overtalk. So that from 5:50 to 6, if you guys have any queries, any questions, so I can help you with that. Okay, so let's begin. So, a background about me. Tanu has introduced me, but once again, I'm currently working as a senior lead analyst at American Express. My graduation is from Punjab University, post-graduation from IIT Ropar. Then I have 2 years experience as a data scientist at CS Educate. Now, coming to this, before starting this talk, just have a general conversation about career aspiration and all. You guys must, because I was also in your shoes some years back. So every time we expect this question, where do we see ourselves in 5 years? Where do we see? I used to bluff a lot on these questions. Okay, I used to see this, because I don't know at that time what I really wanted. And I hope the same is scenario with many of you, because we are in, mostly are in that post-graduation or graduation field. Maybe in final years or maybe the starting, but we don't know that whether we want to go for a corporate job, whether we want to do a PhD or any other. I mean, civil services, government jobs, we seriously don't know for now. Uh, I, I would be really happy if many of you are clear with it, what they want to do, but I was not clear with it. But once while just swinging between gate net to corporate side placement cell, I just sit down and write myself and try to answer this question to myself: where do I see myself in 5 years? So when this thought comes, first of all, I thought that I feel I want to have corporate life experience. So it just strikes me. Why it strikes me? I've seen my siblings working there. I've seen my friends working there. So I had a desire behind my head that no, I want to work in corporate life. Obviously, coming to PhD, because many of my friends have gone for PhD, I had a feeling that okay, I want to do PhD, but at that moment, I was not clear which subject to choose. Whether I'm good at applied math, pure math, and coming to applied math or pure math also, there are so many sub classifications. So I was a bit confused regarding this, what to choose. So I thought that okay, I'll do PhD, but not now. For now, I need some corporate experience. I need to explore things. I need to explore analytics. I need to explore data science and all. I came across data science in 2018 also. A course was introduced by a department, mathematics department. And then I found that I like this analytics and data science things. I mean, I like the math behind them. I feel that I can do that. And thankfully, thanks to God, thanks to placement cell for giving me this chance, I got a campus placement to work at CL Educate. They offered me a business engineer role. It was a general role. I mean, it consists of data scientist, data analytics, as well as business analytics. So that's how my journey started. So I have a request from all of you. Please try to see yourself, try to see what you want to be. Where do you really want to see yourself in 5 years? Because believe me, it really works. When I was clear with my thoughts, then only things happen. Then only I got chances, and then only I was able to start my career. Because in 2019, my career started, and 2 years of learning at CL Educate has taught me so much. I mean, I'm the person who I was not the person 2 years back. So I feel proud of that, that I got a chance to work there. So uh, not purpose, not specifically CL Educate, any company can help you grow. I'm not talking that only that was the thing. Any company, any startup, any good firm, learning is everywhere if you want to learn. So that's how my journey started, and this thing happened. So I just request you all to ask yourself, don't let these thoughts come, okay, that no, we have done MSc chemistry, why would any startup or any corporate will offer a job of data analytics? Just forget it. Just think, what do you want to do? Because I mean, switching your career is not a big deal. Literally, believe me, many of my friends who have been in this field, many of my colleagues who have been in this field, mostly come from aeronautical background, mechanical background, such a wide variety of backgrounds. So there's no specification ki okay, मैंने MSc chemistry दिया, now I can't do data science. Be it MSc chemistry, physics, and MSc maths, BTech, anything you can move to, you can switch to data science. But yeah, obviously, for cracking the interview, you need to be clear with the concepts. And that happens for anything, for any interview, for any be it PhD, for anything, you have to be clear with the concepts. Okay. Just a second, Pradeep, there's bandwidth issues, so I can switch off my camera. I hope I'm
No,
audible.
yes, ma'am. It's all right. Yes, you can.
It's all right. Okay. Otherwise, as you say, I can switch off that. Okay.
As to you.
Okay. So now coming to data scientist top career by Glassdoor. The companies this for this 21st century, data scientist has been tagged as the most wanted job, the top career by Glassdoor. It has been ranked as the hottest job by Harvard. So why this is? I mean, you might be thinking that okay, many of you must be aware what is software engineering there, what is web development, what is software development. Many of you must be aware. I assume that. So why this hype about data scientists? These are the top paying jobs. I mean, software engineer. Why the crowd is moving towards data scientists? Because the companies are moving a mode of automated solutions. They're moving ki data can help us, give us such an automated things. You can't imagine what the robotics can do. Your guys must have Netflix. I'm a Netflix follower. So Netflix recommendation system is just awesome. Why do it happen that while searching for while searching for some things or something, Amazon directly pushes our priority? Why? How Amazon is able to predict our choice? So it's all data science, how things have revolved so much. Now, what, yeah, Amazon review classification. How come Amazon has got so many reviews? We can't imagine how many reviews it has, but it is able to classify whether it's a positive or negative. And upon that only it works. So see how data is evolving. I've just given you an example of this recommendation system. It's more of an unsupervised learning, but the supervised learning has done so good things. They have just evolved our world. We can't imagine what they have done. The IMDb rating and what I would say, all the robotics, all the functionality behind it, everything is of data science only. So let's move forward. So the next question comes to us. Are there any specific companies to target? I mean, assume that they are 100% people, so 50% thought we want to go to analytics. Just, I mean, irrespective of their educational background, what they are doing at Roper, MSc, BTech, doesn't mind, but they thought that want to go to data science thing. So are there any specific companies to target? Predictive life, I mean, any specific companies? Yeah, we can go to banking, we can go to finance, because banking, finance, I hope you guys know that when we go to bank for a loan, there's a way that on the basis of civil history and all the basis of all credit history, we come as a, I mean, we come that we are eligible for the loan, or we are not, or sometimes we are eligible for a loan but not the amount we have quoted. Okay, so this happens. So we feel okay, data science is working there, but that's not the case. There are so many companies. Healthcare is doing amazing using data science. I hope anyone through data science background must be aware of cancer prediction problem, because it is the basic thing. When we go to data science or machine learning, we learn cancer prediction. And there was one more thing, that predicting play yes or no while doing decision trees. It's a very common example. Actually, I've learned data science in my through my mathematics department, and also machine learning through computer science department. This example comes same only. I mean, this is very common example. Whenever I have studied decision tree anywhere, I would get this example. So uh, just not coming to more of example, are there any restrictions? There are so many companies. Healthcare is offering data science literally through using the help of domain experts and many others. They are able to predict which type of cancer you have. It's not just an example. It has happened. The research is going on using your X-ray pictures. That using your X-ray pictures, they are trying to automate things, that whether you have any issue or not. They are able to predict your body's temperature. They are able to predict your health. That whether this is happening using deep learning computer vision. Coming to sales, because I had a project at the company, that whether you are able to predict that how that what is the probability that the consumer who has visited our page so many times through this link, what is the probability that he or she would buy the product. So see, sales, if we can, when we target, I mean, what happens in sales, we try to segregate things. We call each and every person, please buy our product. Are you interested in that product? What happens if we can just separate out that, oh, these are the limited. We can just find some limited people that we need to target this only. How much work labor, how much things will be reduced. So again, sales, credit and insurance, I have told you. Now, coming to social media, Facebook recommendation system. I hope mostly of you would be active on Facebook. I am very active on Facebook, Instagram. How come Facebook is able to predict ki, yeah, you guys must be knowing it. Friends to recommended friends. LinkedIn recommended connections. You might know this. How come Facebook is able to get this? If Facebook has not only a single person, not only you are on the Facebook, that Facebook is targeting you. She's just seeing your common friends, so how they have automated this system, all is because the revolution of data science. The companies are like asking for something, please, we want only data science professionals. Now, much about data science, Gyan. Let's just now, I'm assuming that some of you want to go into data science. They have decided that we want to work in data science and all, be it PhD, be it corporate life. So what are further classification of opportunities in data science? Data analyst, business analyst. I will explain a brief about these opportunities. So data analyst, business analyst, this is basically much of a reporting role. The data analyst business, because how a data science problem begins is that you have given me a problem of credit risk and all, predict whether the loan is bad or wrong, whether the loan would be bad or good. Okay, I hope you guys are clear with the problem. So what data analysts, business analysts do is that they try to access the field, they try to analyze the fields of the content. They try to analyze the fields of the data. What is the field of data? Their CIBIL rating, whether they're female, male, their age group, their income, their past loan, everything. We data analysts, business analysts try to extract features from them. They try to analyze them. Their work involves cleaning. I mean, because there is so much raw data. Sometimes there are issues with the spelling. They are manually filled, not just a drop-down menu type. So there are sometimes values are filled, sometimes mostly values are missing. For a column, mostly values are missing. How could we start design a data science problem? So this is the work of data analyst come business analyst. Also, for that, they need a good background of statistics. No, I won't say background, they need a good knowledge of statistics. Obviously, they're Python and SQL, because they are the ones who fetch data from the SQL and represent it. fetch data, cleaning data, presenting valuable data, presenting charts, box plot, many other. I hope things are going. I mean, you guys are understanding these things. So the function of data analyst, business analyst is that. Also, sometimes I have seen there are very less cases. I mean, it happens that the project start with a data science problem, but we haven't used any data science algorithm. We reached solution before that only. Our data analysis only helped us that, okay, we can reach to a final solution. We can help that. Our problem is solved. We don't, if there's a classification problem, we are able to get that for this range, this field, for this range, this is this field. We are able to solve this problem. No need of machine learning. So how strong the data analyst and business analyst role is? Without analysis, we can't move further to data science, because we can't just deploy a raw data to our system. That can't be possible. And there are so much to represent, especially, for example, I'm working American Express as a senior lead analyst. So we need to make good dashboards, good analysis, because there are so much KPIs to predict how what are the predicted sales, what are the BCV that is going to come. So data analyst and business analyst has to make this possible. Now coming to machine learning engineer. Obviously, problems start with data analyst, business analyst, but problem ends with the machine learning engineer. They deploy data science models depending on which, obviously, they need to have good grasp of the data. They need to understand, they need to see the mathematics behind the data. They need to do feature engineering. So if they are able to get the insights that, okay, I can deploy this model, I can use KNN, I can use that Naive Bayes. If they are able to get this, they can do very well. I mean, using hyperparameter tuning and choosing the correct parameters, they can find an amazing model. So this is the work of machine learning engineer. Coming to business intelligence engineer, I would say its role is similar to data analyst, business analyst, but yeah, the level of hierarchy differs. That I guess business analyst engineer is considered a bit higher than data analyst, business analyst. But yeah, sometimes now just be careful. These roles are quite dependent on the company. I mean, these designations and all change with the companies. Some companies mention it as business analyst, some companies mention it as data analyst. There are some companies which mention it as data scientist as well. Some companies expect you to work as data analyst, business analyst, and data scientist, machine learning engineer all together. So I've just given some examples which normally companies express, but it is not the case always. Things differ with the company to company. There are some companies which mention that we want a software development engineer, but they describe the description of all NLP machine learning engineer. So while job hunting and all, you have to be careful that to clearly see the job description, not go for the role. Obviously, role can tell things, but sometimes you can miss the opportunity because of that only. So now data engineer, data architect, I guess that was left. So they are basically designing the pipeline, how the further model will go. So we won't talk much about that because of the limited time. I would focus much on data analyst and business analyst. So first of all, now I guess till this point we are clear that, okay, data analyst, business analyst, data scientist, three things, we are clear with that. Now let's come to how would we get to this job. Comes to interview preparation, job search as a fresher or experienced professional. I would say, yeah, I would definitely agree that things are better than job search as an experienced professional. My experience tells that, because I feel ki when I had to go to CL, journey was a bit difficult, but thanks to CL, thanks to placement cell, IT Roper. But yeah, as an experienced professional, I was able to give many interviews. So job search as a fresher, if you got the chance of on campus, amazing. That's amazing. That's really nice. But yeah, this would be a more of general role, just like my role was. My role was of a business engineer. At that time when we haven't joined, at the time of interview, we were told that, okay, you would be doing things for data science, data analytics and all. But when we had gone through that, when we had gone to CL, there were many things which, I mean, we were lucky enough to get chance to experiment much more. So on campus is a bit of a general role. You get a general role. But when you're applying off campus, then you're applying yourself. You don't come identity with your college. You go through LinkedIn or Naukri and you apply the jobs. So a specific job description is must. I mean, definitely, if you want to go to, if you have, if you're good with, you want hyperparameter tuning in your life, so you would go for data scientist or machine learning engineer. But if you want to go for analytics, you want to get insights, or you want to do dashboarding, then you would go to data analyst, business analyst. Then things are a bit specified, and obviously, I would say interview level also differs. Now, how much I've done? I guess it's 5:42. Still, I have 8 minutes. I guess I would be able to complete. Now, data analyst interview preparation. Since I've given many data analyst interviews, so I feel I would be able to give this answers correctly, because while job hunting only, I've got offers from 3 companies: HSBC, Cast24, and American Express. Then finally, I chose American Express. So, in general, what data analyst interview contains is that advanced SQL. Your SQL should have a more level than a basic SQL. I mean, definitely, if any of you are aware of the SQL, that it contains select, start, from, group by, and all. But no, this is not the limitation. I also used to assume that okay, this is only the SQL, बाकी तो अपने आप हो जाएगा, but that's not the case. It contains much of window operations. Window operations are too important for that. And sometimes making query. I mean, you should be very sharp with the SQL, that any question you have been given, you are able to complete that in SQL only. Sometimes interview happens like that, that they ask you, they have given you a single problem, first do it in Python, then do it in SQL. So I would say for my journey, learning Python was very easy, because when I was in CA Educate, so I had done majorly my work in Python only, but not SQL. But yeah, I learned it with time. Usually there was another person in the team who used to make SQL queries. So, but yeah, with time, because if you are able to learn a single programming language, I don't think that learning SQL or Python would differ. There is a difference between syntax and a compatibility with the language or a database. You just need to spend some time. Otherwise, other logics are clear if you're able to crack a single programming language only. Okay, so yeah, obviously my choice was Python, but yeah, for data science, R also works. So it depends on you. But I would say what my interview experience tells us that Python is growing like anything. But yeah, obviously you can do your research, and also it depends on company to company. So Python, R, then advanced SQL, also advanced Excel, because data analyst and business analyst are come that they should be quite good with the Excel, because we can do dashboarding with Excel, we can do VLOOKUPs, HLOOKUPs with Excel. So you should be very good with Excel. And obviously, one of the visualization software, Tableau and Power BI, they're two powerful visualization software. You can see literally what happened. It is said now for data analysis, business analysis, you should be able to see story through data. These softwares are the one which can help you do that. Then, most important part, case studies. Sometimes some situations or guesstimates are given. I would say, what are guesstimates? So guesstimates are a calculated guess. Okay, assuming, you have to assume everything and make a calculated guess what would be the answer. Example, number of airports which has takeoff from Delhi. Now while this guesstimates, the interviewer wants to see what is your analytical power, how you approach a problem. Do you see, I mean, how broad is your spectrum? If you just you are given this airport problem, and you say, okay, assume these many flights leave from these airports, there are 3 gates, these leave calculated, and airport is 24-hour operational, and all, and you made a calculated guess. But this is not the correct way. Interviewer wants to see how much you can assume, and how much you can ask more of questions. Try to not just understand it as an assignment. Assume that you have been given an assignment and you are doing that with interviewer. Ask more questions to him, so that he can able to see how good your analytical power is. And the same happens with the situations. It's more like that suddenly food delivery app, suddenly its sales start dropping. We have changed some, we have done some after. What could be the reason that suddenly sales started dropping? So these are the situations things. I mean, interviewer gives you this, and he or she try to find what is your practical, what is your analytical approach towards this. Okay, so this was case studies. Now statistics, very important part, because only statistics can tell you how good your data is normally distributed, whether it's a forward law distributed and other things. And believe me, statistics work as an amazing tool which can help your problem. I mean, there are some, I've seen some situations in which with usage of statistics only, we are able to solve the data science problem. We need not deploy the machine learning models. So see how powerful the statistics is, getting you normally distributed data, and if not normal, how to convert it into normal, and other things. Statistics is must, because sometimes problems are solved through p value, h value as well. I hope, please excuse me if these terms are really sounding vague, but I am assuming that there are some people who must be aware of these things. So that's why I'm just thinking about these things. Now visualization, I've told you as Tableau and Power BI, but yeah, you should be able to see through data how many missing values, how the raw data is, how the how many the data. Sometimes data sound like, for example, sometimes blood pressure. It is more than the expected range of a normal human being. Blood pressure is coming 0. So definitely there's some anomaly with data. You need to replace. There's something wrong with the data. So these are used using domain knowledge. As I've told you, cancer prediction problem only. So these are used using domain knowledge only. You have to employ yourself a doctor or a good physician who can tell what are the symptoms in cancer, what happens. You have got these features, which features are more interpretable, which features are more useful. I hope data analyst and other things are clear. But yeah, in between also, if you guys have any queries or any doubts, please ask me regarding that. Now, data scientist interview preparation. Mathematics behind all the machine learning algorithm. It's very, very important, because usually what happens at interview, usually they give you a hackathon to see how your Python skills are and how your machine learning knowledge are. Or what they do, they conduct an interview which is more like they just go deep down the algorithms. Many of you might be thinking, if you guys have used Kaggle, why this mathematics behind machine learning are used. But this is very useful, because anyone can do what usually happens is that anyone can clean data and all. Data analysts have done his work. What they can do, they can just what data scientists can do, they can just try all the models, do hyperparameter tuning, and find a correct solution, whichever is giving less accuracy, or whatever your performance metric is. So this done. But this is not the case. Machine learning behind mathematics behind machine learning algorithm is very, very important, because what the process I have told would be the approach of a beginner. But if you want to be a professional in a data science, you need to say ki, okay, this is my data, and I feel ki, this is my data. My data has got so much dimension. My data has got so much features, and my data is so large. So I would deploy this model, and this reduces our time like anything. Because using all models, there are so many models in machine learning, neural network, and XGBoost and all. So if we follow this approach, it would just eat up all our time. Statistics, because as I've told that statistics is a bit mixed. Statistics is used by data analysts and data scientists. But because both of them, their motto is that they want to solve a problem through the data. They want to use previous data and design a model such that they can automate things. So definitely, statistics is required to solve the problem for data analysts as well as data scientists. Now, feature engineering. Feature engineering is a very broad field. I can't explain much here because of the time restriction, but it's basically that if you're able to see your data key, it's a forward law distribution, specifically your output variable. How can you convert it into normal distribution? So that you are able to get the direct fields that sigma minus 99%, this contains 99% of data, this contains 95% of data. You can just predict the ranges. So this is more of feature engineering, but feature engineering, I would say, is a very broad spectrum, and this is what interviewers see through you. I mean, if you're giving a interview for a good organizations, for where, I mean, I won't say for a good or a bad, but for any organization. But there are some interview rounds where you have been given a case study, that you have been given a hackathon, solve it in 3 days. Solve it in 3 days, and then feature engineering is an art. Data scientist knowledge, all is things, but you grasp the knowledge. But then comes feature engineering, how artistic you are, how you can help your data see through. How can you just shape your data in this way? I mean, I hope you guys must be aware of coordinate geometry, transformations. So it contains that. I mean, transformation is just a single part of feature engineering, but feature engineering is very wide. And I would say for being a good data scientist, feature engineering is must. Then Python are again more important, but I would say for the purpose of data scientists, they don't see much of Python or competitive coding. But for the purpose of data analysis, they see that you must be aware of what are the operations Python and R can do. Python can, how can Python directly help duplicate things? I mean, check through duplicate values and other things, the codes and all. Data analysts need to be very good with Python. But for data scientists, it's not that the case. But yeah, everything differs with the companies. Now, case studies. I hope I've explained the case studies for the data analyst. Now, for the data scientist, they give you full-fledged case study. You have to do data analysis as well as you have to do work as a machine learning engineer. Machine learning engineer and data scientist all are just similar only. So you have to do feature engineering also. They see three things in your case studies. First, analysis. How was your data? How you were able to do analysis and all. And then feature engineering. Are you able to get solve good Fourier transforms, good coordinate geometric transformations? Then final, what matters is that accuracy. I won't say accuracy, but yeah, your performance metric. In mostly cases, we choose not in mostly cases, in some cases we choose performance metric as accuracy. But yeah, there are other performance matrices as well, MEP and confidence, that confidence metrics, TP-TPR ratio, precision recall. There are many ratios. So the performance metric is defined by business analyst, because it gives you business objectives, whether you can afford the misclassification cost or not, whether you want to know probability as well or not. So on the basis of this only, the business analyst design your business objectives. And finally, when we are just concluding things, when machine learning engineer is able to deploy the models and fantasy to choose a better model, to choose the best model among given, we use the performance metric there. Now, most important requirement for the interview, confidence. Believe me, it works like anything. Because it's not the case that if interviewer has asked you 10 questions, you have to be sure, okay, we have to answer 10 questions. If we are not able to answer 2 questions, we are out. That's not the case. Interview also knows not everybody knows everything. Everyone has some restricted, someone has specialization in NLP, someone has specialization in deep learning. You can't expect that everyone knows everything. But yeah, you should show, or you should have it, that we have a desire to learn. We are curious enough. You should be more like interactive session with the interview, that okay, if I'm not able to do it, if I'm not able to solve this Python query, or not able to make a better query, make an optimized query for SQL, it's not the case that I can't do it. I can do it, but okay, for now I can't do it. But yeah, it was a great learning. So please, if you're not able to crack offline or off campus or on campus interviews, so please don't be demotivated. You've got so much opportunities. And have confidence in yourself. And also, I would say interviews or companies see if a person can believe in him or her abilities, then only the company will believe them. So I would say for me, knowledge and other things work, but my confidence works like anything. I mean, seriously, believe me, sometimes you are not able to answer, but your confidence is the one which is the changing factor, which is the one which gets you selected. So please be confident and good luck. And so, guys, thank you very, very much for your attention, for giving me this chance. And agar main zyada pagaya ho, so that I'm so sorry for that. Now, I would like to have a question session if anyone wants to ask.
If anyone has any questions, please write in the chat box, or you may also unmute yourself. Okay, I do have some questions. I hope you have answered a couple of them, but I would begin with the first one. So, what is the difference between data science, machine learning, big data, and data analytics? You have answered this one previously.
I would say, Tanu, big data is much of developer. I mean, it's a data science, developer science thing. I don't know much about big data, but yeah, I know that it is quite different from the data science and data analytics things. It's a more of a developer of a data science platforms. Cornerstone, Machine Learning Studio, there are some examples of that. So coming to, you were asking data scientist and machine learning engineer. So Tanu, it depends on company to company. I mean, coming to designation, it seriously depends on company to company. But data science and machine learning engineers are normally considered same only, because what they have to do feature engineering, as well as they have to deploy models and do hyperparameter tuning, check which metric would be better. I hope if you have no issue with if you want to understand these terms, I can explain you. But yeah, it would take much time. I can explain you that privately. That if you want to know that matrices, performance metric, and all, we can have a private conversation regarding that.
Okay. Okay, I shall move to the next question.
Sure.
How should a student from MSc Mathematics background with not much technical knowledge prepare for job interviews for data analytics?
Tanu, coming to companies, I would say that moving to a data analytics role is quite easier. But I mean, data scientists, because companies now require much experience for the data science. And they sometimes say, okay, we require experience. If you have got good experience in analytics, you're able to handle much large data. You are able to make charts out of them. Then okay, we want you as a data scientist, because data scientists want really much experience for becoming a data scientist. Now coming to data analytics or business analytics, if a student with the MSc Mathematics or as in general any MSc wants to move to data analytics, so I would say you should have good command over SQL, Python, or R, whatever you choose, and dashboarding. You should know at least one visualization software, that is Tableau or Power BI. And one more thing, companies see how good your analytical knowledge is. So you should be good with the case studies, situational case studies, and you should be good with the guesstimates. That's very important. I would say also some companies, I won't say all, but if you have some restricted time, then don't do. Otherwise, Excel is also preferred by some companies. So these are the requirements, and I don't think it's specifically for any educational background, be it for MSc Mathematics, BTech student, anyone. Anyone can learn them, and it won't take that much time that it would take a year's time. I would say if you work hard, then 3 to 4 months, you can able to have a good hand over all of these, and definitely crack the interviews.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Next question is, how can beginners start learning data analytics? I think this is similar one.
Yeah.
So I move to the next one. What are the technical skills required for data analytics?
So I told you now SQL, Python, and case studies. Coming to technical skills, SQL, Python, and Excel.
Here's a question. How much do we have to work if we know not much about
computers? So, Navdeep. So I would say not much. I would say ki take a good course or do something ki you are able to have a grasp over Excel, Python, and all. Take some friend's help or something. He would help you download Anaconda Navigator or not Anaconda Navigator. Google has an amazing feature, Google Collaboratory. I hope you might be aware of that. You all might be aware of that. That's an amazing feature which Google has recently developed. So what Google Collaborate provides you, you are able to run Python codes there only. So see that you can practice it online only. You don't need a computer. You don't need to download Anaconda Navigator. And coming to Python or any other, I would say in general, any programming language, that comes with a practice. You require much practice to develop algorithms. It's more of a logical thinking. It's more of an approach you would choose because anyone can make any code for a given query, but you need to know what is the more optimized solution to a problem. I hope Navdeep, I'm able to answer your query. Yeah. You're welcome. So, anyone else? So I guess one thought out. So at the end, I really want to thank CDC RC department and Tanu, Pralay, Pragya, and all my professors for giving me this chance to deliver a talk in your college. Thank you very much. It's like homecoming, getting back to your college. I wish we would be able to, I wish this won't be virtual. I would be able to meet you all. But yeah, still we are safe and we are happy. That's more important, right?
Thank you, ma'am, for such a pleasant talk, and we are very glad to get you in this meet. And thank you, students, for actively participating in the program. We are very thankful to the CDCRC team and Tanu for their effort. The program became successful.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful session.
Thank you. Thank you, brother.